Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today. So you can see today I have a special guest. If you want to find out who this is, then please keep on watching. Okay, so this is my friend Ross, and we've known each other, for 25 years? Is it, Ross?
Must be 25 years, I think so.
Yeah. So we've known each other for 25 years, a very long time. And my dear friend Ross is actually head of a school. He's principal of one of the bilingual schools here in Hong Kong. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to be able to hear some of the insights or some of the takeaways that he can share with us in terms of leadership. So Ross, what are some of the lessons that you've taken away from your role as a principal of a school?
Well, firstly, I think, Jenny, for me, I have a background in psychology and coaching as well. So I came to the leadership role from that perspective, looking at really people, relationships, systems, and how they work. I think I always have a couple of sayings that always stick in my head. One of them is it's all about the 3 R's. Relationships, relationships, relationships.
Love it.
And that most problems are not people problems, they're systems problems. So often there's something with the system that the person's resisting to. It doesn't mean the system's wrong, but a person might be resisting to that system. So I think it's all about understanding people is really important. And, that we all, I know in IB especially, talk about human commonalities. So there's things we all have in common when it's human, right? Yeah. So when something's hard or we go through change, a lot of the time we want to push it away. We want to not embrace it sometimes. And that's our natural psychological defense mechanism, our fight and flight. Yeah. So I think understanding people and how they work is really important for me, and being a observer, a listener of people. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think, we've all, I suppose, been exposed to different types of leaders where some are the very directive, listen to me, micromanage, but it sounds like, Ross, you're really coming from that strong foundation and background of coaching and psychology and understanding human relationships and how people think and feel, because that's so important, I think, in organization, right, that has so many staff, because I know you lead, what is it, 100 teachers or more?
Yeah, 100 teachers.
Yeah. So I know this might be really challenging for you to answer because you're very modest and you have a lot of humility, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to share this with us because we'd be interested to hear. What is the proudest moment that you've had as a head? What have you been most proud of? And I don't want you to be too humble, okay? Or modest.
Well, there's a few things, I think. It's really hard to narrow down one because there's different levels and there's different little moments that trigger at that point. You think, oh, yes, maybe I've done a good job or something. I've instilled something. And I think one of them is with the children. I always have a mantra. So I say to the children, be kind to others, be kind to yourself. So all I have to say in our school, at the end of every assembly or the end of every message, I just go, and remember, and the kids will go, be kind to others, be kind to yourself.
I love it.
And so we pick that apart as a school. What does it mean to be kind to others? Often, kids and adults can get that okay. But what's being kind to yourself? And I think, a couple of moments where parents have come back to me and said what an influence it's had on them. When kids say it to me, they'll always remember that. They've never thought about being kind to themselves. We introduced mindfulness in the school, mindful breathing.
Beautiful.
And I've had children come up to me and go, oh, Mr. Dawson, I was going for my piano exam and I was so nervous. And so I took a few deep breaths and my amygdala opened up and I was able to concentrate. Little things like that, I think, are those moments that it
So
really makes you think, I've made a difference. And
exactly.
really that's what people want in life.
Yes, that's
What
right.
anybody wants to make a difference in other people's lives.
Yes, exactly. And I think I think they're really wise words during these very challenging times that we're all experiencing, because that social, emotional well-being aspect is on the forefront, right, during these times. And so your mantra you've been carrying for a few years is particularly useful, I think, now for your students.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be genuine, and it's got to be for that school or for that situation, right? Different organizations will need different mantras. For example, when I came, I used to be the deputy principal of the school, and I came back as the principal. By the way, I think every leader should study psychology. I think it's an amazing experience. I had the opportunity to take a couple of years out, study psychology of coaching at Sydney U, which I was very privileged to do. And so when I came back to the school, we chose 4 words. Well, I chose 4 words with the staff, and we went through them, and they were trust, dignity, empathy, and reason. So we decided everything we did in the school was going to be based around those 4 words.
Wow.
First, trust.
Yes.
We were going to trust that everybody was coming to school to do a good job. But we were going to trust that sometimes things went wrong, and it's okay. I always say, no teacher ever comes to school and says, I'm going to do a bad job today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Stuff happens, so we're going to trust. And we're also going to trust kids. When kids are telling us something, trust that there's something there. We're not going to brush it aside. Trust parents. Yes, you might have a parent and it might come across as moaning or negative, but trust that within there that there's a seed of something going on.
Yes.
So we trust each other. And also I talk to the parents about these. So to talk to the parents about trusting the teachers as well when they come to you as out of concern. So trust is a big thing. And, trust takes a lot to unpack, a lot to build.
It does.
And the other one was empathy.
Yes.
Stopping and thinking about, well, that person, something's not going right, but maybe there's a reason behind it. Let's put ourselves in their shoes.
Nice.
Yeah. And the other one was dignity. And this is a big one for me. And I think a lot of people go wrong as leaders by trying to avoid conflict.
Yes. Yeah.
But without conflict, you can't have growth.
Yes, that's right.
You can't grow without conflict. But you need to have conflict, which is disagreement, with dignity. Now, we've all been taught to think that conflict's a bad thing. In fact, it's not. If you don't have conflict, you can't have growth. But you've got to have it with dignity. So
I love that reframing.
We decided we're going to disagree with dignity.
Beautiful.
That's really important.
Yeah.
And the other one was reason. And it's to do things with a reason. So, 2 types of reason, really. One, if we hear something from a teacher or a parent, we will, yes, it might be a seed that we think, oh, yes, is there some truth in that? But we'll go and find out. We'll get data. So we do stuff with a reason. We don't just do stuff as a knee-jerk reaction.
Yes, with purpose. Yeah.
Exactly. And the other one is being reasonable about stuff. Right? Yes, we have rules, we have systems, but we've also got to know that it's not going to be for everyone. You can't be rigid, so you have to be reasonable.
Yeah.
And so those 4 words were really important to us. And, and while I was saying this, coming back to your question about something that you think's worked, that I think's worked, is that I was just talking to a teacher the other day, and he was talking about how we've got through that this year being a very tumultuous year, and the last 4 years, he just said to me, we've achieved those things.
Yes, wonderful.
So for me, that's really
just so rewarding.
Really important.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, it's hard to I'm not blowing my own horn, but as a community, we do that, you know, as a community, we work. And, you know, you can't do it by yourself. And I've got just the most amazing team. You know, and I think that's really important. So going back to those relationships, if people feel open to talk, to trust each other, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, what a wonderful environment to be in. And I bet people watching this wish that they worked in your school environment and, you know, had lessons in your leadership. So thank you, Ross, so much for your time today. So many insights. Welcome. And, you know, every time we have a conversation, so Ross and I, you know, do our regular walks and we have this conversation because we're both passionate educators. And I always take away something from our conversation. So thank you for your time. And if you have any comments at all, please put it in the section below. And thank you for joining us today. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye.